Hello, everybody. Today we're going to do technology for our tidbits, disconnect to reconnect. So I want to start with a thinking challenge. I just want you to take a moment to think of a memory or a time that you really enjoyed yourself. Where did this take place? Who was there? Think about that for a second. For most people, good memories are often about the outdoors or nature, or interactions or event with people, right? We are more impacted by a real connection. So let's talk about what is technology. So technology is a broad range of digital devices, such as your computers, tablets, multi-touch screens, mobile devices, so your cell phone, television, right down to your DVD or music player, audio recorders, electronic toys, games, or e-readers. It also includes older analog devices from years ago, such as tape recorders, your VCRs with the VHS tapes, record or cassette players. This is, of course, not a complete list, but it just gives you some ideas of different devices that are usually used by children and parents. And to maybe just take a moment to think about what types of technology that are commonly used within your household. Of course, there are some positives to technology. There are lots of positives that coincide with the use of technology. You can connect anywhere at any time, especially at times like these, where you can communicate with family and friends, even though we're going to have to keep our distance, especially those who are far away. Technology aids in making things easier, but different things like working from home, um, we now have the ability to access information at our fingertips. Technology can serve as an access to entertainment in a variety of forms. So like your video games, the internet, which now we're doing stuff like Netflix, Spotify, and social media. You can even PVR your TV and not have to watch any commercials. With the positives, of course, comes the negative of technology. So what are some things you don't like about technology? Let's think first. We often tend to get stuck in not getting much downtime. So kind of always that feeling of the need to check those emails and those text messages. We have become not only attached, but also addicted and easily distracted by our devices, and particularly unable to put away our phones. Um, Loss of manners related to devices or screens and answering texts and using during this family time or family meal time and interrupting that time. Technology easily becomes time consuming. We've all felt that. Time spent downloading or repairing when you don't understand something that you're working with, when you're trying to sync a device or try to understand how these devices work, and can take up a lot of your time and your energy. uh, it also decreases face-to-face interaction, less talking to each other, less reading and understanding of the physical and emotional cues will create loss of communication skills. Screens create endorphins for the user, so that's our feel-good hormones or good feel-good emotions that contribute to that feel of addiction. So, is technology harmful to our children? Screen time is a lost opportunity for your child to learn in real time. So from interacting, playing outdoors, creating or enjoying social downtime with the family, that disconnects you from your child and both parent and child by spending more time, and it becomes isolating. Too much screen time also increases your child's risk of becoming sleep deprived, less school ready, inattentive, being overweight, aggressive, and able to self-soothe. Um, Technology also, it becomes exposure to violent and sexual content, advertising that contains negative messages related to healthy eating, gender, diversity, and social issues through TV, computer websites, tablets, video games, etc. The list goes on, of course. TV is usually the first screen where babies are exposed to violence and sexual content. We got to keep that in mind. And many cartoons are considered violent, and characters that are also sexualized. So recommendations versus the actual usage. I found this really interesting. So how much time should your child use screens, technology, according to research experts? So when we're looking into infant or toddler, which would be under 2 years of age, should not be exposed to any screens, not even passively. So not at all. So even having this TV screen at the side of their face, turning around that the high chair or whatever to have that interaction to your face, just as little as that. They recommend not at all. Then we're looking at children 2 to 5 years. They want you to limit the routine on regular screen time to less than 1 hour per day. Children 6 to 12 should not use screens more than 1 to 2 hours per day. So that's what their recommendations would be. And then compared to what we're seeing as actual usage of technology for children right now. Infant and toddler under 2, we're seeing about 2.5 hours per day. Children 2 to 5 years, we are seeing about 7.5 hours per day. And children 6 to 12 are using an average of 9 hours per day, which is a lot more than the recommended 1 to 2 hours, right? So why does technology use matter? So between the ages of 0 to 2 years, infant brains triple in size. So a parent's voice, touch, interaction can help build pathways in their brain that help them learn how to bond emotionally with other people. Young brains need plenty of movement, touch, and attachment to family, varied activities and exposure to nature for optimal neurodevelopmental pathways. For children who spend too much time interacting with a screen, their neuro pathways change and different ones are created that negative affect your concentration, self-esteem, and even relationships. Going forward, we're going to be discussing 4 critical components necessary for healthy physical and psychological development of babies and children, and how technology can have some negative impact with these components. So we're going to look at human interaction, touch, movement, and exposure to nature. First, we'll talk about human connection. So human connection is necessary for infants and young children to feel safe and secure and to thrive. The critical period of infant-parent attachment is from birth to the first year, where close contact with the primary parent includes lots of face-to-face interaction and verbal interaction, which is definitely essential. Attachment is a key factor for positive mental health in babies and toddlers. Children learn about their parents' reliability and accountability and approachability through interactions with them. The average age that a child begins to use a touchscreen device is about 11 months and can often master a digital device before they're even talking. It's crazy. Many young children consider screens also as like a competition for a parent's attention, which at such a young age, to make that connection is something that we need to think about for sure. So touch. Touch is a biological necessity that helps your body to feel secure, able to self-soothe, and regulate your body and emotions. So not getting enough touch can actually make infants and toddlers feel fearful, anxious, and agitated. Infants given screen to play with are often in your car seats, strollers, swings, exercisers, and lending to even less physical contact and touch with the parent. Parents wrapped up in their own technology use, of course, talking on their phones, checking their emails, text messages, or even watching TV, when they could be talking or playing with their children. So it also decreases this amount of touch and body experience that they thrive for. Movement. Moving helps your baby build muscles and coordination necessary for the day-to-day activities. Moving helps babies and children to develop a balance with their practice. Children learn that they do many things with their bodies. So we're looking at crawling and climbing the stairs, jumping, skipping, and even those small actions of just being able to hold the toothbrush, brush their teeth, when they start to write their name and they're doing drawings and holding that pencil. Young children require 2 to 3 hours of active play to achieve adequate stimulation for normal development. So 2 to 3 hours of vigorous activity. Children love to play, and they love to spend their time. You want to allow your children to move and have fun and build those skills that are necessary for daily life. Nature is my favorite. You just see their minds building, and that's what we'll get to here. Nature is considered essential for physical and mental wellness in our children. Playing outside stimulates children's imaginations, creativity, problem solving, and reduces stress. Studies found that children engaged in more creative forms of play when outside, both with nature and with other children. They can focus better in school, have better self-regulation, and have less change of that chance of developing obesity. Technology is often a quick and convenient way for parents to entertain children and have replaced time spent outdoors. Make sure to take the time to put down your phone and spend quality time and connect with your child. Choose different outdoor activities like going to the park, playing in the backyard, playing a game of tag, or playing some sports. So the serious impact of technology. While many people believe that technology can make life easier and has positives for their children's learning, access to technology and the amount it is used by babies, children, teens, and adults have revealed some alarming and worrying research. So Did you know technology leaves children sitting for, and which equals being more, like less active. So today's children will be the first generation that may not outlive their parents due to health reasons. 73% of children are sleep deprived, which is related to technology use. 60% of cartoons, 95% of video games, 75% of TV media contains violent content. Repeated exposure reduces empathy and contributes to the major uprising of aggression in children. Children who overuse 1 to 2 hours a day of technology have a 60% increase incidence of mental health concerns. 1 in 11 children are addicted to video games or social media. And technology hardwires children for speed, so it can overstimulate or isolate and increase anxiety, aggression, and depression. So finding a balance with everything, whether it's screen time or feeding or um, just anything that life kind of brings us. I always believe that everything in moderation. Technology can be used for positive use for educational reasons. However, it can interfere with healthy development, as parents must weigh out the risks and benefits and determine how technology will be used in your households. Technology is here to stay, but there are many ways to balance technology use with other life activities. So some suggestions here to try and find that balance would be to try and expose babies and toddlers to as little screen time as possible. You want to establish certain times and places as no screen zones. So don't make a habit of using screens to soothe or distract children, especially young children. And decide what media and technology you allow your children to watch or play. So kind of just thinking about, well, what you value in the types of shows and contents that your children are watching. That we see a lot of like product placement in YouTube videos, and we may watch a show where we feel like that it's just kind of too old for them, and that we get that sense of there's no rush in growing up, and just kind of even like watching these shows with them, or this content with them, and kind of figure out what you value and what you want them to be seeing. The more you know. Model healthy technology use habits. So this means us too. Think of your children's use of screens as a health issue. So just like you would when you're thinking about their well-being with eating or brushing their teeth. Make sure to model good screen habits yourself. Adapt to removing yourself when needed and be that example for them. Choose screen time for your child that can encourage and complement physical activity. Reduce your technology use over time as well. And when you do this as a family, you kind of adapt to it as well. Set up different times to disconnect from technology and be consistent. So you hear a lot that people that kind of have that rule of no devices at the dinner table, and then that contributes to better communication and having that time that you have that moment of building that certain time around the day of knowing how everything is going with the family. And making just alternative plans. So doing different things like going for a family walk or going to the park. Um, thinking, I mean, in the future, of course, when things are a little bit more lax, then we're past the winter, different things like camping trips or bike rides, wagon rides we can do right now, swimming, making a snowman soon, that will be a thing. So just being creative and creating the impact of those memories that we were reflecting, that I got you guys to kind of reflect on earlier in the video. So thanks very much for listening. I hope that that kind of um, got you thinking about how you're going to introduce devices if you guys haven't already, or maybe some habits that you may want to change, or just different things to consider. And you guys have a great day.